a cup of coffee, so you give it 100% of his shot.
Yeah.
But a coffee maker, just get coffee, drink,
and serve it.
He doesn't care. So a coffee maker doesn't have that caring part. But a barista, you have the passion. So I think you have the point now.
Well, guys, I think you get to know now what's the difference between a barista and a coffee maker. So let us know on the show you've watched, all the episodes of the coffee break, who's been the coffee maker and who is a barista. Use the hashtag the coffee break show. Sadam, let's talk about your experience in UAE. How was it like to transition from Uganda to UAE?
You mean the journey or the
like the experience to adjust,
It wasn't that much hard because before I joined at UAE, I used to work with Calvin.
Your mentor?
Actually, I first used to work with Calvin, then yes, my mentor, then a barista, Saint Alvin. That guy is nice.
Big up, Saint Alvin.
Big up guy. So when we used to work together, we used to read different articles concerning coffee. I remember you remember?
Yeah, I do remember. You know, we're family here, so whatever he's talking about is like I'm envisioning it here and I'm seeing it how it was. But for you guys, for the benefit of you guys, at least we are storytelling this so that you get to know the experience that Sadam has gone through and what has been his best moments in transitioning from Uganda to this. So after this short commercial break, we are going to be starting from right there to get to know how Sadam transitioned from Uganda and what was his experience in UAE. But also in this segment that's coming right up, we're going to be brewing our coffee and Sadam will be giving us all the details on how best we can brew this coffee. So don't you go away, we shall be right back.
Coffee industry is very wide, it's very big, it's very full of opportunities. Don't sit there and say, I have nothing to do. You can join the industry. You can get whatever you want. If you give it time, invest in it. By giving it time, don't look for money, don't look for big salary at first. First learn. After learning, you'll get how much amount you need. In coffee industry, there's no like, barista should get this amount of money. No, it depends on your knowledge. What you know is what you get. You cannot be like having junior experience and asking for experienced one. No. You can join now. Good thing, everything is simple. It's easy. Don't sit there and say, oh no, I'm scared to join this. No, it's very simple. You can make. Yeah, it's very simple. It's not so difficult. Simple, very simple. Very enjoyable. You can do everything when you're enjoying. You can do your coffee. You can serve your customers. Coffee create friendship. Coffee gives you a job. Even if you are not working in a cafe, maybe you can go in different field, but still in coffee industry. Yes.
Put up the camera.
You're still watching the Coffee Break Show on House of Talent TV, and welcome back from that short commercial break. My name is Aman Mukisa, right here on the Coffee Break Show. Well, I need to remind you guys that you need to go on our social media platforms. That's Twitter as HTV1UG, and follow us. You get to see the good content, good videos, good episodes that we put up for you out there. And also Facebook, you can go down there, and YouTube as House of Talent Uganda. You know, this show is watched by a quite number of people, and just read through your comments. I have Mbonye Bright Richards is saying, please Saddam, give us all the best that we can, because we're anticipating for the best brewing tutorial. That's Mbonye Bright Richards. But also Rosie James is here saying, go my brother, I can't wait to see your tutorial. And the Dollar Isaac says, nice show my brother Saddam, I can't wait to see also the tutorial. And there is what's his name, this is a funny name, Maureen K. Okay, it's not funny. There is I can read it. Monica says, I don't know Saddam from where he started to brew coffee and where is he right now. So basically, she wants the profile. Saddam, we had skipped that.
Okay.
Where did you start from, like, to grow coffee before? I mean, to join the coffee industry, like before you joined Enduro Coffee.
All right.
Like, where did you go to school, or you just came out of the blue and you were inspired by Calvin?
No. Of course, I went to school.
Which school was that?
My primary.
The primary side of it, and then the coffee school part of it.
Anyway,
yeah.
I started in Entebbe, but I'm a born of Mbale.
Mbale.
Yeah, so.
Bulai.
They say Mulembe.
Mulembe,
Makoa, Malai. Okay. But I'm not a Mugiso. Okay. So I'm in Uganda by birth. Yeah, so I grew up in Entebbe. Yeah, I was raised by a single mother, and at the age of around 10, I crossed to Mbali, and I used to stay with my grandmother after the death of our father. So the two parents, I know two actually, my mother, then my grandfather. Sorry, my grandmother. They're the one who raised me. So I joined there, my senior one, in there is a school, it's called Manafa High. It's in the middle of the city. So, yeah.
In the middle of the city of Mbale?
The middle of, yeah.
So you're the pioneer, the celeb in Mbale? Because it's in the city?
No, I'm a quiet guy. I wasn't the celeb, but I had my little profile around, yeah. So, I didn't do higher education, so I ended in senior 4. I tried to go to senior 5, but you know, school fees issues, so I had to branch somewhere.
Let's talk about you going to Mbale at the age of 10. Were they growing coffee, like your grandma and mother? Were they growing coffee? Because Mbale is known also for growing coffee that side.
No, actually, no, we didn't. Yeah.
So at the age of 10, 15, you never knew about coffee?
No, I knew about coffee, that's coffee, but I didn't care what's coffee. For me, before I was a tea drinker. Okay. Every day, even if there is no sugar in the tea, I'll take tea because I love tea. Okay. Understand? So at the age of 20.
After senior 4?
Yes, after senior 4. I started to look around what I can do. Yeah. So in my vacation of senior 4, I first went to, there is a place there in Kampala. They do furnitures, you know. It's called, it's in Wise actually. So I started to gamble around for 3 months, but I knew there was no future here.
You didn't feel that thing?
I didn't feel the vibe. Yeah. So no cheetah, you understand? No cheetah can. So I went back to Mbale. I was stuck somewhere, you know. I was in the middle. I didn't know what to do. Yeah, I slept from morning until evening, waking up, looking for what to do. Nothing. Then there was this lady. She's a friend of Madame Gloria. She's called, forgot 10. Maggie.
Maggie.
Yeah, Mrs. Maggie.
Maggie is, Gloria is the CEO of Endiro, so they are friends, eh?
Yeah, they are friends. Maggie, she's working with Jenga projects in Mbale. She's the vice president there. So she was my neighbor. So one day she came to me like, Saddam, the year is ending. We have to plan for the next year. What's your plan? So like, what are you talking about? Do I have to have a plan for the next year? I asked her. So she told me, yes, you're a man, you have to think ahead. So I told him, but I don't have a job. Like, do you want to work? Like, yes, anything. Do for me a CV. So here was another drama. I didn't know how to do a CV. I'm being honest. So she told me you have to. I'll not help you. Like, okay, so I went to Google. I did some little research. I did one. I gave her.
You wrote a CV.
Yes. So the following morning, she told me, "Are you ready for the interview?" Like, do I have one? Like, yes. So I asked her in the interview what they ask. Like, you go and figure it out, you're a man. Like, okay. So yeah, at that moment I knew naino kubeera omusajja. Singa ebyabagisumba kusala mbalu. No, it was another topic of life, you know. So I went, Madame Gloria, she invited me over, so she sat me down.
How do you get, okay, Maggie knew Gloria, but how do you, okay, when you wrote the CV, you sent it to Gloria?
No, to Madame Maggie.
To Aggie?
Maggie. Yeah, so she gave it to Madame Gloria. So they called me over for the interview. By then there were three people, let me say, Madame Gloria. Then there was this white lady. By then she was a manager in Endiro Mbale. And then there was also another lady, she was called Madame Penina. All of these two, I think they left. The white lady, then Madame Penina. So, yeah.
What was the reaction when you got a call? Because you had suffered from going to the furniture store, and then went back to the ginger growing in Mbale, and now you get a call, you're coming in the city. What was the feeling like to know that you're coming back in the city and you have a good job you're going to get?
Actually, I didn't know that I was coming in the city.
You thought you're going to work from that side? Eh?
Yeah, and I did for some few months. So I was given a chance to work as a cleaner. They asked me, are you willing to work? To start immediately or tomorrow? Like, I can start now. I was so eager. Yes, I wanted to work, you know. Yeah, so my first day they showed me around, so I started to clean. Then Calvin saw me and he liked me. I think that was the chance also to get
to the coffee section.
Yes, so he liked me. So I started to do my fully paid job as a cleaner, but I could spare some time to learn. So he started to teach me slowly by slowly. I remember he had exams, so this was my chance to prove the company that I can do. So they wanted to bring a guy from the city to take over his position since he had some exams. Yeah, but I told him, no, I can handle.
Confidence.
Yes, I had the confidence. I was a good teacher.
That's like after how long of you training? Like
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Underground training.
Underground training. But 3 months is quite a good time for you, like, to train hands-on. It was a good time for you, I think, to adjust. To come out and say, I'm confident I can do this. Right?
Yeah.
So after you giving you the mantle to do coffee, because you said there are coffee makers and baristas. For you to become a barista, how did you feel? How did you receive that?
The first day on the duty, I was so nervous. I could shake. That.
What was your experience like? What unique moment do you remember? What you did, like, and you like, whenever you remember about it, you laugh. Did I do this?
Yeah, I remember. They asked for a mocha. I gave them I gave them a latte. Then there was this lady. She was called, who I've forgotten. She came shouting, "Sit down, sit down!"
She was the manager.
No. She was a waiter.
A waiter.
Yeah, she was a waiter. Like, like, no. So she started to teach me. But I knew, but it's just, I was nervous, you know? I was nervous since it was my first time to take over a station. Yeah. Now like, okay, teach me. Like, okay, you put this after putting the chocolate, you should extract the espresso, mix it together, then steam the milk and pour the latte. Like, just like that. I knew what to do, but I wasn't thinking.
Because you were nervous.
Yes.
Well, guys, that's one thing. By the way, if you become successful, especially as a youth in this world, one thing you have to do is be confident of yourself. Because the moment you're not confident, everything will bypass you. But also, like, not undermine things. Because you see how Saddam came as a cleaner. He didn't mind about cleaning, but he knew what he wanted. He wanted to work. He had that zeal. So he ended up like going to the coffee section from being a cleaner. Now he's the big guy here doing coffee.
Exactly.
Quite a story, man.
Yeah. So it's all about the confidence and being humble.
Being humble.
Yeah. These two things pushed me. Yeah.
Okay. Let's first speak. You have become a barista now, and how long did you do it before you decided to go to UAE? In Uganda.
I went in UAE in...
No, like, how long did you be a barista in Uganda?
For 2 years and 8 months, let me say.
2 years and 8 months.
Yeah.
And you have all this knowledge. I've had guys come here.
Before I went to UAE, this is the experience I had in Uganda. So now I'm having experience of 5 to 6 years.
5 to 6 years
in the industry.
You have all this information, you're confident.
Yeah.
We've had guys be in coffee like for 10 years, but they literally can't even explain what a coffee bean is. What are you doing that's unique for you to know all these things?
Of course, every day you have to do some little articles. You know, coffee is growing, so there is new ideas. So if you don't do any research and sit and relax, of course you stay there. So you have to look for it. Yeah, people pay a lot of money to have this information. I have a friend of mine is a trainer in Dubai. Yeah, he's having a
training school?
Yes, a training school. So he told me he invested himself approximately to 60 Ugandan million. He had to put in himself.
In Dubai?
Yeah.
To train? 60 million?
Yeah, 60 million.
That's quite expensive, man.
That's what he told me. And I believe. Because one day I wanted to upgrade. So roughly I used 3.5. Yes, a course of let me say 6 hours. It costed me 3
point something million.
Yeah.
So guys, if you want to join the coffee industry, you see what you need to like invest. It's not just a matter of like coming out and you become a coffee maker. You need to invest so that you can become a barista, right, Sadam?
Yes, a professional barista.
A professional barista.
Actually, no, those are all stages. In the first place, we'll have coffee. Gamba kanko, coffee maker.
Coffee maker.
Yeah, but because of passion, pushing harder, then you become a barista, you know. So from being a barista, there is also a pro
barista.
Yeah, professional barista. So you have to, invest in yourself more, then you upgrade.
Well, you spoke about farms in Uganda, because I was asking you about like what experience have you had in coffee bars that you've visited, but you've been so much in farms. How do you find the farming practices deep down in our farms? Are they giving us good coffee, or they're doing bad practicing methods for farming?
No, they are doing amazing job.
Amazing job.
Yeah. Before I went to UAE, I visited some farms. So in the first place, what I saw, I wasn't happy. But when I went back the second time, I was really happy. The way they take care of their crops, the processing ways, the way they put in on the African beds, you know.
Raised beds.
Yeah. Back then they just used to sweep on the ground to make sure the ground is clean. Just remove the leaves, little sticks, cow's shit, you know.
Yeah.
Then they pour the coffee. This time around I was so happy. They made their beds, so they put coffee on top. Under some hours, then they take it off. They know what they are doing, you know. But back then, Charlie knew. Yeah, one day I got a goat lying in coffee beans. I was like, what? You never get to tour. It's not good. But now there is a lot of changes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what were you looking for in the farms as you went to deep down to the farms?
I have a friend now. He's a producer. It's called Semakula Derek. Yeah, he's working with Chanzo Farm, washing station. So I went to CP Falls.
Okay.
Yeah, so they are doing their production that side.
So you had literally gone to see what's happening deep down there.
Yes, what's happening.
Okay.
So we went, we did the harvest together, and I was so happy with the team which I worked with. They knew what they were doing, so they could look only for the ripe cherry. Ripe, they could select the ripe one. In case they pick the green one, they have somewhere where they used to go and sort it from.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was part of it, interacting with the children, and what surprised me, I got a six-year-old kid. He's not in school. He's selecting beans, but he does know what he's doing. He was picking only the red one. If he sees a leaf, he could pick it out and throw. He knows that it's bad. So that information really made me happy.
Wow.
Which means whatever they are doing,
it's
on point. Yeah.
Maybe before we go for a break, I want to tap your idea on who is the most important person in the coffee chain. Is it the farmer? Actually, among these two people, is it the farmer or the barista?
That's a tricky one. But in my own words, I would say all of us.
No,
boss,
all
of us. I'll tell you, all of us.
Hey.
I speak for the coffee, not the farmer. Okay? But if a farmer does a shit job, I cannot represent it.
But if a farmer does bad coffee and he brings it on my station, I can do whatever it takes at least to have good coffee out of it. No, it can't. But if a farmer produces good coffee and I make it bad, it will be bad coffee.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go for
no.
We shall continue this conversation later.
Boss. We are all accountable. So for me, I'll stick on my 2 points.
We're all important.
Important, yes.
Well, guys, who is the most important person in the coffee chain? Go dive down on our social media platforms, Twitter at HTV1UG, and tell us who is most important in the coffee chain. The coffee break, we'll be right back.
Okay.
You have to know each equipment. You have to know the brew ratio. Actually, brew ratio is
very important.
The most important. Brew ratio now most people may not understand. It is the ratio of
water.
The coffee powder to water,
water,
and the yield. Water in this article will bring us into the yield. If I put 10 grams of coffee into my portafilter, how much of it am I exactly? So if you don't master the brew ratio, everything is going to turn out a mess. You understand? Even if you know that knowledge and you don't master the brew ratio.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. You're still watching House of Talent Television, and this is the coffee break with me, Amon Mukisa. And my guest today is Saddam Muchibi, a former senior barista with Enduro Coffee, and now a head barista with
Algawa Arabia.
Algawa Arabia. That one was confusing.
Algawa. You should feel it here.
I should feel it here. Algawa.
Yes.
Is that right?
Gawa means coffee, actually. Means coffee.
It means coffee in Arabic.
In Arabic, yeah. In Arabic side.
Gawa.
Gahawa.
You know how to speak Arabic, huh?
No. It's not any easy language, bro. Yeah. But so, of course I know little words, yeah.
So before we went to break, we were talking about like who is the most important person in the coffee chain. And behind the camera, of the camera, we were having a conversation of the fact that we talking about the chain, and now we are bringing out only 2 people, which means no longer chain. Okay, so now Saddam, who is the most important person in the coffee chain with all the people involved in the chain? So that's now a complete chain.
Aye, boss. Everyone is important. I'll not say these people they do they put less effort. No, everyone in the chain puts 100%. Yeah, so still I'll stick on my answer, everyone.
Okay.
Everyone is important.
Everyone is important.
I cannot have coffee without a farmer. I cannot have a coffee without a roaster. I cannot have a coffee without a producer. So they are all important, and we appreciate their work.
They are all important. So Saddam, let's go into our tutorial for today's show. What are we gonna do today? I see various equipments here.
Yeah. So you're going to have a V60. Yeah, a V60. Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So a V60, what's it made of? Like, how was it, or how does it work?
A V60, it's a filter coffee. Yeah. It's a filter coffee. You do it manually. It's not like an espresso whereby it's a machine. You know, you craft it.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are going to craft 1 cup for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 cups for us, you know.
2 cups?
Hey.
All right.
Okay.
No problem.
So
2 cups then.
The floor is yours. Give us the tutorial.
See, I'll do one. Then you also do one.
I also do one.
Yeah.
Okay. We have all the time.
You have
Let's
the time?
go.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'll show you the way we do it. See how I'm folding the folder. Sorry, the paper filter. It should be like this. You lock it down at the tip. Good.
Wow.
Good to go. But before you start the brew, you have to make sure that it's wet. And you should put enough water. So I use approximately 100 to 200 ml of water.
Is a kettle of water. I think you can add in some little water.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Just help me. We decided to keep our water here just to keep the temperature.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I like the way you folded the paper filter and threw it over there. I wish we had it in a slow motion. It would really look nice, eh? As you can see the paper filter, and I love the color. Like when you see the color of our paper bag, the cover.
Yeah.
When you see the color of our paper bag and the color of the filter, something that looks nice when you're making coffee. Eh?
Yeah.
Those are the coffee colors. Eh?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to wet our paper filter.
So here I start.
Okay. There you go. I don't know if you guys can hear the sound of the dripping water into the decanter. Oh God. So why is it that you have to like wet it fully like this instead of like just pouring water, and the moment you see that it's wet, I pour out the water? I see you've taken over like 30 seconds when wetting the paper filter.
I should wash it, you know. These papers, they trap dust, and it has its own smell. That peppery taste, you have to kick it out. Yeah. So, can I use it here?
Sure, no worries. You can use. We have all the equipment on the coffee break
I
show.
see.
Yeah.
Even the decanter, you have to
wash it fully.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, good to go.
So this process took like 1 minute.
Yeah, you have to take your time. Time is everything, my brother.
Sibya kupapa.
Sibya kupapa.
Okay.
Coffee wampapira. Oba tugenda munyumirwa.
Yeah. So you have your coffee ready.
Yeah.
Which grind size do we have to use specifically?
Medium coarse.
Medium coarse.
Yeah, medium coarse.
Okay.
Let me just keep it here. Medium coarse.
For the V60. Let me ask, does the V60 use the same grind size as the Quimula pour over, the Clever Dripper, Chemix? Those are 3 equipment so far. Yeah. And the AeroPress. Do they use the same grind size?
No. For the Clever Drip, V60 Clever Dripper, then you said which one else? Chemix. No. So V60 Clever Dripper, you can use the same grind size.
Okay.
Yeah, but for the Chemix, you need something more coarser.
More coarser.
Yeah.
All right.
So you go like 2 clips. Yeah. If you use maybe like a 20 clip, then for the Chemix, you should use maybe 23 to 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because it has tiny walls.
Okay. So what next?
So I'm going to dose the coffee, and I'm going to use 20, and I'll use a ratio of 1 to 15.
1 to 15.
Yeah.
How do you guys count ratios?
I wish I can do it with you here. I can show you. So
that's the good thing about the coffee break, because everything is practical right here. So our cameraman will zoom in this as Saddam is doing it, so that he shows you how you count ratios, especially when you're like at home. You need to use you need to use this method to show that, or to get ratios of how you can get a good cup of coffee. So Saddam, how do you count ratios? Okay,
so since we are going to use a ratio of, as I told you, it will be 1 to 15, right? So, and the dose is 20.
Why did you put a 0 point something?
0, it represents a number.
Okay.
It cannot show 1, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it cannot show 1. If you say point, how did I say? Anyway, let's first keep it.
Okay.
So, as I told you, we are using 20 grams of coffee. So, a 20 grams of coffee, it will be represented by 300 ml of water.
Is it a standard?
It's the standard.
20 grams have to represent 300 ml of water?
No, it's not like that. But we use ratios.
Okay.
So the first ratio we start with is 15.
Okay.
There is 15, 1 to 15. There is 1 to 16, 1 to 17. These all ratios, they will produce different tests. Tests.
So I can't use a ratio of 2 to 15? No. It's not there in coffee?
It's not there.
Wow. Okay.
Not there.
Show us how we can count.
If you use a 12, you will extract something which is underdeveloped. It will be bitter. It will be harsh.
It won't taste good, literally.
Yeah. You will not enjoy your coffee.
Okay.
So in order for you to enjoy the coffee, you need these standards, you need 15 and above.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see how we can get our ratios right here.
So you put the 300 as I told you. 20 to go into the 300. So you divide it by 20.
As you can
see, it will be 15. This 15 represents 1 gram of water, 1 gram of coffee, which means if you put 1 gram of coffee inside the chamber, you should put 15 grams of coffee. 15 grams of water. Yeah. So in coffee, we shouldn't use ml. we go into grams because there is some particles and solubles. It's a mixture. That's why I use grams. 15 grams, not ml. So you divide the 15, as I told that 15 represent 1 gram. So you can divide the 15 by 20. Sorry, it's 15 by 20, giving you 15. The same thing if you brew this ratio and you find it very strong for you, you can use maybe 16.5, 17, up to you.
All right.
Yeah, so I will just do the 16 by 20.
Gives you 320. Hope you guys saw how it is done right on TV. Yeah. So in case you're at home, please do this and you get the ratios on how you want your coffee to taste. So let's go sit down and make the coffee.
So I'll dose it.
Coffee has to be fresh.
Yeah, it has to be fresh, always fresh.
Yeah.
Not fresh of one day, no. Should be a fresh of at least 2 weeks. That's 14 days. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is 23, but we said you should use 20.
20 grams.
20 grams. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing about coffee, it will teach you how to be consistent in life.
That's what you talked about at the beginning of the show. You have to be with a notebook and pen, so that you note down these things for consistency. And
after removing the amount of coffee you want, you should make sure you tighten so that it will keep the freshness.
Hope you guys know how to tighten these bags, because whenever you buy these bags in supermarkets, coffee shops, you need to know how to seal it again the moment you open it up again. Okay. I like the aroma and scent that's coming out of the coffee. Yeah. So why are you stirring it like that? To create a hole?
Not a hole, but since it's a cone, I should use this. Yeah. Since it's a cone, the amount of coffee in the middle, it's more than the one which is on the side. Okay. Yeah, so you should make a little bit
basically it has to be like in the shape of the equipment.
Exactly.
So if my cameraman could zoom in here and see that cone, it's not flat. There is a cone like the way how this equipment or the way this V60 is made. So that's why there is this shape right here. Okay.
So let me first add more water.
Nice. So there is no there's nothing like, okay, it has to be flat so that I can get a flat bed.
Yeah. Anyway, you can keep it flat if you wish, but I prefer it this way.
This way?
Yeah.
Well, guys, this is Free Knowledge live on TV, and this is what the coffee break does for you to understand how to brew coffee. Okay?
Yeah.
I like the way you handle everything gently. I think this is the way how this cup of coffee is going to come out, like in terms of taste.
Of course.
Yeah. So there you're tearing?
Yeah. I have to put it on 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have to measure the amount of water. Yeah, in case if I forgot to tear it, it will give me different results. I may end up putting less water or more water.
Okay.
So it's always good to put it at 0, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I'm going to start. Before you start, you have to start that time. So you should start at the same time. So I'll first put 50 ml of water.
Himself every time whenever he sees a barista doing that, why do baristas like pour in a swirling or rotational mode?
Yeah.
Why?
The V60 cone, it's made of some narrow, how can I say it? There is some design
the ridges.
Exactly. Yeah. So it pulls the water in a certain direction. So if I say to pour in a different way, it may affect my cup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So this is the second pour.
So there are times you pour, like you need to pour 4 times, 3 times, 2 times.
Yeah. But all it will depend on what you are looking at.
So that crema, that dark brown crema that's coming on top, does it represent that coffee is really, really fresh, or it's just because the way you're pouring it?
Sometimes, yeah, it does.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that coffee is fresh?
Yeah, no. Yeah, actually, it doesn't mean that the coffee is fresh, but it represents a good coffee also.
So I had a conversation with some guys some time back, and we were arguing about that. Like the moment you have your coffee brewing, you don't have to stir, you just have to let it like coffee drip into the cup or the decanter. Why did you stir for the coffee in a P60?
Now, in coffee extraction, there is a lot of things which we should all understand. What you're looking at, that will be one of your main reasons why you're doing it. So for me, I'm doing it to increase my extraction levels. Yeah. Secondly, to make sure that every ground it will be hit by water, it will hit the water.
Every ground will be hit by the water. During the blooming process, the first pour, if you bring in this ground to be mixed with water, at this point where you start in, won't it affect the cup of the taste of the cup of coffee, because it didn't mix with water at first and didn't maybe like take away the astringent flavors at first? Won't it like affect the cup of coffee, because now when you stir it, it's going to mix with the other beans or with the other grounds that have been immersed or infused with coffee?
No, it will not affect.
It won't?
Yeah, it won't.
So you mean like one particle of coffee doesn't affect a cup of coffee?
It does. Yeah, it does. But in extraction, in brewing,
it doesn't.
It doesn't. Yeah.
So, and we're done?
Yeah, we are done. Very simple.
Guys, look at how the coffee
so our extraction
means
our time is 3 minutes.
3 minutes
of extraction,
and you're done with your nice cup of coffee.
Of course,
I like the lighter bit of it. It's not something that looks like it's strong.
Yeah.
And something that you can drink over and over and over and over again. So we get our cups right here. You guys, I can't wait. Very nice. I can't wait to have this cup of coffee right here. On a coffee break made by barista Saddam Muchivi, who is a former barista at Enduro Coffee, but also is head barista of Ali Kahawa. It's something
I'll teach you how to say it.
Let me have my dose and nice. That's enough for me.
All right.
The rest is yours. So I'm gonna have my cup of coffee right here, and I'll be the judge from this cup of coffee.
Let me first wait for you.
Wow. Wow.
How is it?
This is a very well balanced cup of coffee. In terms of taste, in terms of smoothness, in terms of acidity, everything is balanced. And the aftertaste is too sweet. Very, very sweet.
Yeah.
Well guys, this is a tutorial of the V60 that you could make at home. If you want these equipments right here, go on our social media platforms in the comment section. Let us know the equipment you want, and the House of Talent will help you connect you to the people, or will get you these equipments. So this is the coffee break, and Saddam, as we finalize the show, or we get towards the end of the show, let's talk about women in coffee. Just briefly, how can we get a number of women in the coffee industry?
Basing on where I've been working from, now the ladies are in more the industry. If you look at the, excuse me, if you look at the competition which held in Dubai, the top players are all ladies, the judges, the winners. Even the barista champion, she's a lady.
She's a lady.
Yeah, maybe here in Uganda we need to educate them.
In terms of? coffee brewing, or educate them in school?
No, in coffee, in the industry. We should show them the way. We should encourage them. We should actually teaching them. Once you teach someone, I think you will end up loving it. You teach, you follow up, and results is love in the coffee. Yeah.
It's love in the coffee. Why aren't we having barista champions from Uganda? You spoke about the barista champions who are in Dubai are ladies, most of them. So why aren't we having? It's because maybe we're not educating them?
No.
Or it's because we're not initiative enough to be competitive?
We are educating them, but as you know, some ladies, if you take coffee, it will affect your...
Yeah, the mean.
I think.
Yeah,
so it's scaring them off. But on the other side, the ladies are on top.
They don't care about this.
My former barista, she's a lady.
Your head barista?
My former head barista. Yeah, before I took, she was the one in charge. So I was second in command of her. Imagine. Not her only. There is another company, 3 or 4. The head baristas, they are ladies. You know this company called Espresso Lab. The former head barista, she's a lady. Yeah.
But salary is affecting the ladies' involvement in the coffee industry. You know, men as like